gave everybody that could be audience for citizens time to join on. That's what we did.
That's
That's
nice.
how
of you.
nice we are.
Hey, Mark, you're being recorded.
Okay.
Thank you, Frank.
Yes. All right. All right. So good evening, everybody. We'll call to order at 7:04. I only see one person in the audience.
Who's that?
Earl, would you like to add or
Oh, Peck.
mention anything?
Who's in? Oh,
Okay.
1 minute. My fault. Now I see everyone. Thank you.
I'm not
So
seeing
is
anything.
it Lark? Because
Lark?
I usually put in the minutes who's in the audience. So Lark Peck? Yes?
I'm
thinking
not sure we want to set that precedent because we're going to go back to meeting in person soon and you want to have to list. And we certainly aren't going to be listing everyone in the audience at the regular meetings.
Well, the problem was I was listing because the audience was always talking. It was Kathy and Alan. So if I don't put that they attended, there's no record that we had representation from the selectmen or the Board of Finance, and yet they participate. So that's where I didn't want to put it call to the order that they attended the meeting. I usually put them under audience. Okay, I could not do that and just put down if they make a comment.
Yeah, just put down when they comment or I don't know.
It would be a very delightful thing if we had overcome by people and it was too arduous to put all the people down in our minutes.
Well, we have had meetings. Remember when the parents were
Oh,
in?
yeah,
Yeah, we've had such meetings.
that is true.
Yeah, but
Anyway, all right.
It's true.
Those are the ones I like when we get we get citizens involved and we hear their all sorts of sides. That's
I
the ones
agree.
I like.
I agree.
Anyway. All right,
Awesome.
March 18th minutes. I was good with those.
Yeah, I liked them.
I think Neil, did you have a chance to look at them?
In all honesty, not much. I
Okay,
just
that's all
skimmed
good.
it. So I did, nothing glared out at me, but I didn't go in depth, no.
No problem. All right, so I think that gets into the 5-year plan and then what sorry, I'll stop multitasking. I'm going to send you, so we'll get into the parking lot thing in a minute as a part of agenda item 5. But for the 5-year plan, I just sent you guys, everybody on this committee, a copy of the Word version that I finally got to adding some of the ERS things in there. But then what I realized is I just sent it and I'll send it again after this discussion and I add things, but Dr. Light, I realized that like, I know we did like that room work.
Yep.
And I know we did the washing machine and dryer, which I think actually was almost last year actually, but it was kind of at the beginning of this year. But then what else? Like we did that high pressure pump. Like what else should I add to what did we do? Or is it separate because it's COVID related? Do we want to add what we've done this year? What we've been doing is listing the last couple of years, we've listed what we've done in the past academic years. And I just can't remember all the things we did this year so far. Or do we want to keep it separate because it's COVID?
Or because it's not on the 5-year plan.
Right, I guess that's what I meant, Rose. It was really COVID related, not 5-year plan related.
I do like the idea though of keeping a list of what's been done because
I
otherwise
could just bracket it. I could just bracket it as, you
could make it an addendum to the document.
Yeah, true. I could do that.
Okay.
So why don't we list, you have a feel for what we've done that I can add to that list?
Well, just remember, we've done the pre-K, put in the dishwasher because they had to wash all of the different toys that the kids handled.
Yep.
So that was put in. That
Yep.
required a reworking of the cabinetry.
Right.
So the washer dryer,
Wait, was it a dishwasher and a washer dryer?
no, yeah, washer and dryer in the cafeteria
Right.
because we had to wash all their blankets and pillowcases and all that stuff that they have. Plus the toys, the hard toys, the
Okay,
plastic
yeah,
toys and those kinds of
yeah.
things they play with. And
Was there a
then,
new dishwasher we did in the kitchen a while, like this year? Do we have to replace that this?
well, that's not COVID related. You asked about COVID related.
No, I
we
know,
had
but
to
that,
do
we
the-
also did that, right?
Yeah, we also did the Ansel hood. We had to upgrade the Ansel hood to make it code compliant for fire code upgrades.
What is that, Ansel?
Ansel, ANSOLE, I think. I think Ansel,
That was in the kitchen?
Yes, that's the fire hood over the stove. And then we finally last week, we got the mixer valve replaced. We also had the pressure tank for the hot water system replaced. And we're still looking for Doug Lombardi. I don't know where the heck he went to. I put in a number of emails to him. He's doing the recessed lighting change out to make it LEDs.
We're gonna try to get.
That
through
has not
this
been
year.
accomplished yet. My recollection is he was waiting until after the school year ended, because he's all over the place with those, every classroom and hallways and stuff. If I remember correctly, that's what we decided, but he hasn't answered my emails. I must have sent him about 5. I don't know why, but that's the other thing that's on the horizon, I guess is the way to say it. Now, remember, they removed, we didn't, but the old wooden playscape was also removed, because now that, in terms of your 5-year plan, is being replaced by a new playscape. And we just got a Title IV grant for $10,000 that can go for the ADA compliant aspects of all playscapes that we have to put in now.
Great.
I think all the ones that
Right, they are.
Game Time had, they had some element of ADA.
Right, but what I'm saying to you is the way to get the grant was to say that the playscape that will be built is going to have obviously ADA compliance, and that's where that $10,000 portion, we can, whatever the cost is, I don't know what the cost is ultimately, but you have $10,000 in the bank for any aspect of that playscape cost, and we can call it the ADA aspects. So we do have that grant in place under Title IV, which is health and safety issues for students.
Okay.
But that's
I don't
all
know.
I know of, other than what you're doing in the parking lot.
Mark, what is the
You
mustering
have-
system?
That was, I don't think we decided that we weren't gonna do that. That was kind of a, wasn't that like almost a key card or something like that people
Key
could have?
card, Neil, it's a key card. So every person who comes in the building who's a part of the staff has a key card, and they just simply clock in and clock out. The reason for the mustering aspect was because if the fire department is called to the building, we have to obviously get all the students out. All the students are in a line, and we have to take their attendance. We don't take attendance of the staff. So if there is 1 or 2 staff members who are not present, counting, let's say, their classes because they have a free period, the fire department then is going to have to send somebody in the building looking for that person unless we know that person has gone out for a cup of coffee because it's their planning period. So they muster, in other words, they take their ID, they clock in, they clock out, and we know that they're not in the building. So we don't have to send a volunteer fireman through the building looking for somebody who is not there.
Mark,
Yeah,
I have one more thing. I don't know if you already put it on. The HVAC motors were replaced, I think 2 of them, and changes of filters.
oh, yeah.
Well, the filter change, I don't know if you want to put the filter changes because that's normal. What we did was,
That should be normal maintenance.
that's normal maintenance, but instead of twice a year, they're doing it 4 times a year.
And an upgrade though to MERV 13.
To move 13, yeah, MERV 13.
Yeah,
The change of the filter is not, that's not
not,
unusual.
yeah. Yeah,
It's just, instead of twice, it's now 4. 4 times.
All right,
Put
so,
new motors in, didn't we? You put new motors in
Yes, they're all
HVAC
in.
motors though, yeah, I think I
for
got that.
for exhaust.
Yep.
Did we do anything with the drainage last year in the back?
all the septic.
Yeah,
Yeah. Did
That
you
was
put that
last
on
year.
there, Mark? I don't have a copy of
Oh.
your 5-year plan, but all that septic work,
I had that in the 2019-2020
Right.
period because we did that last June.
right?
And that was when the catch basins were repaired as well.
right.
And then the generator was before that, but the last year though. All right. All right, so I think that covers, I don't really necessarily remember all the dates associated with that, but I don't know as though that really matters. I think just capturing what we got done in that academic year is fine, unless everybody feels that we need to try to figure out what the exact dates on that, but it gives us a ballpark.
Yeah.
All right. So as far as the ERS recommendations, they had talked about installation of the efficient lighting in the classroom entrances. So it sounds like that's the recess lights that
That's
you're
the
working on
recessed
for this
lighting,
year.
right.
Then there was an installation of the demand control ventilation control.
But we don't want to do that now because of COVID. We run them 24 hours, 7 days
Right.
a week. So we don't want it on demand.
Okay. And then they had something about, I don't know what it stands for, probably variable something, probably variable flow something. It's install VFDs on the air handling unit fans. Maybe that was, I'll have to do some more research on what that acronym was. I couldn't find it in the report readily.
I know we upgraded the motors relative to their efficiency.
Okay, maybe that was it. And then we talked about,
when we
I
replaced-
think you talked about potentially this year also doing those mini splits in the pre-K room.
Yeah, that hasn't been done yet. That's on a grant where you've applied for a grant in order to do the mini splits for the COVID issues. You can put those in there. There are 4 of them. But they haven't even been approved yet through the grant
Well, we
process.
might put it in, we could put it in the 2020, 2021 plan, and if we don't get there, we'll just leave it on the back burner.
Yeah, you can do that.
I don't foresee that, well, that's actually, it's on there, installation of AC and K and pre-K. So it's actually already on that plan for
Okay.
this year. The HES tractor replacement was on this year. I think we'll just leave it on the list, but I don't foresee that we're gonna do that, especially with everything else that's being discussed. We're already gonna have repaving the parking lot as a separate line item. Replace the wooden playscape. I will send you guys an email. I did get an email. I get emails all the time from Game Time, which is one of the companies we looked at. And they have like this, they're having like crazy sales right now, like $60,000 units are like 30,000.
Huh.
So, I mean, if we, I don't know. I mean, we might have some money in the capital non-recurring account that, you know, if we do a $40,000 unit for 20,000, we might be able to afford it without having to do a capital campaign. But let me send you their email and you can kind of look through what the options are, and you guys, you know, we can talk and see if that's even what we think is feasible. But, you know, for that savings, and then I think we'd have to figure it out, because like from an installation standpoint, I mean, I think we could do it right. I mean, the people said that they would come out and kind of like coach you through the installation. And I know based on some other town issues or other things in the town, there's some concern with that, but I think, you know, I would volunteer to be part of that. And I think it would be done right.
Morris has put up 2 playscapes at schools I was working at, so I think townspeople can do just fine.
Right. So I think we could do it right. And I think we could possibly, you know, have a fairly good unit, and maybe not as grand as what, you know, we'd love to have, but at the same time, not knowing the full climate of what's going on with everything else, I think having something there would be better than nothing. But we don't have to have it be, you know.
Well, they are expandable, so it's not like you're limited, and it's 1
That's
foot.
absolutely, that's 100% true. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. You're right. We could start with a reasonable thing and then always add more to it if we want, because you can buy just the parts.
Yep.
So I'll send that
And-
on to everybody, and then we'll,
And don't forget the $10,000 for the ADA compliance, so that up to 10,000 right away.
right.
That should,
Yeah, and we could probably, you know, when we work through it, we could, like, I know at the church, we use those, like almost the foam-ish blocks to create like so if we wanted to create like a walkway through the thing that would also be, you know, soft compliant, we probably can use that. So all right. So I think that's from a playscape standpoint, I'll send down that information and take a look, and we'll have to talk. I might reach out to them if everybody in this committee is okay, just to understand how long that sale is going to last, just so that we have a better perspective. Or I'm guessing they're probably fairly desperate right now for
I would
business.
say. I agree.
So, but I'll make some calls and I'll let everybody know. All right.
Thank
And
you.
then for the mustering system, I think we kind of agreed. Does anybody? I don't foresee that this school, I understand it probably does add to the safety, but based on the number of people in the school, I think on any given day, it seems like we know who's in the building and who isn't. And like, it's not like we have a couple hundred people. I mean, we barely have 100 between the staff, and I just don't know. I think we had talked about the muster system and said, hey, it was probably a nice to have versus a need to have, but does anybody else recall that discussion?
Well, I assume you have a sign-in system, right, Frank, for the teachers when they come in, you know who's there, and they have a
Yes.
sign up, not there.
Yes.
And how many teachers are there now?
Well, if you do staff, all staff, we have 23 people, all staff.
Okay,
So that's really a manageable issue, to be very
For
honest. with
$10,000, it seems like it would be.
yeah,
you. Yeah, I'd rather go to Playscape than to a mustering system.
right, I agree.
And then what about the upgrade to the camera system? That was on this year.
That was
Potentially.
not done because they moved the buses. Remember? the buses were
Oh, that
being
was for the buses.
vandalized and they moved the
Okay.
buses, so we stopped the system.
Can I
Right.
scratch that then?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll scratch that. All right, fair enough. So I'll add in doing
can I
those.
ask why they moved them,
I'm sorry?
Frank?
Yeah.
Did they move them because of the catalytic converter still stealing? Why did they move them?
No, they moved them because they were vandalized. They were being vandalized by kids. So,
That's just not
But
our
it
town,
wasn't
because I think there's more buses at the East Con now than just our town.
right. And EastCon has to
That-
pay property tax on those.
That
deliveries.
had,
No, they're non-profit. They don't pay taxes to us.
Oh, because EastCon owns it. Ah,
Yeah,
the,
Yeah, I agree.
the thing, the reason they're there is that at least 14 catalytic converters were stolen
Oh,
from cut
Oh.
out from under the buses. So yeah, so they're $1,000 deductible. Yeah, the insurance company wanted some changes, but I was wondering if they cut them out at in our
I
parking
hadn't
lot.
heard. You're the first person
Okay.
to tell me that.
Yeah, it's bad. Okay,
all right, so I think that was all I had for the 5-year plan. Does anybody else have anything to bring up on that? All right, and
No.
I'll update the Word file. I'll probably talk about it one more time at the next F&O meeting. And then what I would probably do, Rose, is, we'd probably present it at the following regular board meeting to get it kind of adopted, and then we'll remove draft and call it whatever that latest date is.
Okay, great.
All right. All right, so the parking lot quote, be honest with you, Dr. Ola, I'm not sure what I was supposed to do there based on Sally's email, so I didn't want to screw anything up. So I've gotten, you shared with me, and we've gotten a couple emails, but
There's a
like, I don't
technical,
know. Go ahead.
let me just, this is just a technicality in bidding. You're supposed to have a closed envelope delivered to the office, which is what we asked for. However, I think there were 2 or 3 that just sent us an email. And one, I think it was one who sent us the appropriate packaging. My feeling is, let's look at the bottom lines of what it's going to cost us and award the package. Regardless of whether they
whom?
put it in a sealed envelope.
Oh, yeah.
So I would need the information from that other final company that was sealed then.
Oh, you didn't get
Quite-
that?
I don't think so, no.
I didn't get it because it was in a sealed envelope.
Where, Who
It's
had
in
that
the
sealed
board
envelope?
box at the school. I bet it's in the Board of Ed mailbox.
oh. Okay. Is that somebody could Dr. Oler, could you have Sam or somebody check that for us to see if it's there?
I'm not sure she's in the building.
Not right now, and
Oh.
not in general.
I was gonna say,
No, I meant in general. Tomorrow is fine. I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of swamped at work right now, so I've been working 5 o'clock in the morning until 5 at night, so I'm not gonna have a lot of time to get over there, so.
I'll be in charge of that.
Oh, thank you, Rose.
You're welcome.
Okay, so the other aspect of this is because this is coming out of the municipal fund from town, I think Alan, I was kind of hoping he would call in tonight because I think I want to just forward him on this data. And I think if I remember right, he wanted to be, or I think the way that got approved or worded is that it has to be kind of worked through him anyway, or worked with him at least.
if he signs the checks, he wants the authority.
Right.
I
And
think,
I don't know, Rose, if you have any feel for this, that based on like tonight's meeting, I look at that as a public building. The school is a public building, and so eventually we have to be able to maintain it. So I think doing the parking lot is reasonable, because even if it's not a school anymore, it's still gonna be a public building that's probably used for something. So if that parking lot becomes a danger at some point, it's probably still a liability, so.
So what's the question?
I guess I'm questioning whether I feel it's worth pursuing and keeping going down the, well, I should say I do feel it's worth pursuing, but I'm not sure if everybody agrees. All
Well, I think we need to do it.
right,
Yeah, I do too. Whatever happens with the school is not going to happen within the year. So yes, you have to keep up the paving.
Agree.
all right. And what is the board, committees feel? Like I think the cost went up a little bit because I think it had been like near $140,000 for this parking lot area. Now it's at like 160 was the lowest one I think I saw. Like, would we want to offer the ability to use some of our capital non-recurring costs? If I don't know what that municipal fund has in it still. So if we needed to make up a difference.
I think I would just send it over to Alan. And then if says we need more money, he'll tell us. But I don't want to offer anything until we're told it's needed.
Like that. That's a good plan. Yep.
Okay.
All right. If you don't mind researching out that final one that's in the envelope, and then once I have all the data, I'll go see him.
Okay.
Do you know, is the town hall open yet? I mean, can you go
No,
there on
we have to
Thursdays?
call and make an appointment.
Oh, okay. I can do that. All right, so I think that's, and when I have all that data, now that it's kind of, I guess I'll say public, I'll just make sure that I email everybody the 3 or 4 packages we got, just to make sure everybody has the same information.
Okay.
Anything else on that? Okay, here now, I'll keep going. Item 6, I'm leaving on the agenda, but I don't think there's really much to discuss the para rates right now.
Especially
Well,
for the following year.
but the thing is that we said I could do it. Sally did it and only sent me a copy that was PDF.
Ah.
So today I got a copy that isn't PDF. So I need to see if that's like we said we'd do it.
Okay.
So hopefully I can do that by Wednesday's meeting, but as a group here, we agreed I didn't have to do it immediately, and
Right.
it would help if I could do it after May 3rd.
No rush.
Yeah. Just as a point,
Yep,
the number 6 is for 2022, 23. You're working on the 21, 22. So I'm not sure why we were even looking a year ahead of us, because you'd have to tell us whether or not there's a percentage increase, and that's a year out.
I'm looking at the one for next school year.
Right, that's right. But on
Oh, I
his,
thought we approved that one.
No, I asked, could we wait? And this, we agreed we'd wait.
Okay. Well, maybe on the next agenda, do you want to discuss it as this committee first, or you're trying to get it done before next meeting?
Well, if you all want to discuss it at this committee first, I'm okay with that. But if you don't want to, and if it looks like the way we agreed we'd do it, I could,
Yeah. Yeah, if you feel you have enough time for before next week, Wednesday's meeting, I'm good with that too. We've
okay,
already discussed it. We were on board with what you wanted to do, so.
yeah, okay.
All right, as far as 2020, 2021 budget, this current fiscal year we're in, Dr. Ola, do you have any
yeah,
foreseeable issues, or are we gonna have shortages, or?
no, we won't have any shortages. We are at, let's see, expenditure is 67.3%. So we still have half of April, May, and June. We do have some larger expenses coming in, and our oil issue is going to be staring us in the face again. So we're okay. There's nothing that is really, you're going to have to move some money around as you always have, but we should be okay. I think we've been very conservative in our spending patterns at this point.
I do want to say that we haven't been allowed to put money in capital non-recurring. So I think we shouldn't have, we should spend as close down to 0 as we can.
I think we've done that in I think the past 2 years.
Yeah, you're real good at that.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, I
Rose?
guess that kind of would help get the 5-year plan. If we had any of those last minute things we could throw in, we could do.
You're
it.
right. Yeah.
I have a question. When you said that we haven't been allowed, is because the Board of Finance doesn't allow us to?
Yes, they can't tell us what to spend it on, but they can say we may not put money in. And that's what they've been doing.
We were always
What would be
authorized
the
to put a certain
rationale for-
percentage.
Allowing,
Well, the town needs money.
I'm sorry, say that. Okay, I'm sorry, Mark, you were saying what?
I could have
It's
sworn that
limited to what?
I
To,
thought we had the ability to do like the 1%. And then after that, it was, no, we don't even have that.
I don't think so. Frank, am I wrong?
I thought we had the right to put it in up to 1.5%.
All right,
And
let's check
we have
that
to
out.
clarify that. I didn't realize the Board of Finance could stop you from doing it.
Yeah, let's check it out. Because if we can put it in anyway, then fine, have that much left over, but I think
Yeah.
I think the law was with the Board of Finance's permission, we can put that much in. But let's check it out. I checked it out a few years ago and Jessica's brother called me to explain it, but it could have changed.
All right, and then item 8, I was wondering, I apologize, I didn't make it to the Board of Finance meeting, but I'm not sure if our budget came up or not.
I forgot to go. When was it? Last Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a test, so I wouldn't have gone.
I believe that the agenda was to get input on the town budget from various components of the town. Because I know that the Green Energy Committee had to present their request of, and I think we get 1,000 something, maybe 2,000. So I think they're still doing input from the various town groups, agencies, committees, boards.
I thought Kathy had mentioned at the 5 o'clock meeting that she had data for us from Union, but I have no idea where.
Oh,
that
she
was.
called them up. She called them up and asked for their budget. And she wanted to know how they do their administration.
They
I would
just
be
lost
very
their
interested because I
superintendent.
haven't seen their budget, but we were slightly lower than them the last time I checked, so I have no idea what it is now, but.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They-
they had their superintendent retired. So she just mentioned that they are now on a principal / superintendent model.
Well, they're searching for one.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know as though we probably need to do anything with our proposed budget. We made a recommendation. You know, I'll say that it is what it is until we know more from that committee. And if last year, and I'll try not to be, snarky about this, but the truth of the matter is they just told us what we're gonna get, didn't really ask us what we need. So it might
Yeah,
go
that's-
down if it goes,
That's how they are.
so we'll have to figure that out when we know more facts.
I found it interesting that Kathy said that they're gonna cut us on the ECS when we got something from Cape today saying that it came out of committee to up the amount for ECS. So
Yeah,
towns,
That was
They just-
confusing.
well, I'm not confused because I think that that's their message to everyone and they don't want to change their message. And
But
we
if
don't,
you could scroll, if you scroll down to Hampton, I believe that there was a cut because they did list on page 9, town by town. But that's only a proposal. It's not settled.
And everything we've
I
heard
think-
today is they were gonna keep it flat this year.
yeah,
Well,
I
that
will
was the
say that,
governor's proposal. To keep it flat was the governor's recommendation to the legislature.
Yeah.
So I don't know which version of the ECS Kathy was referring to when she said there was a cut. That might be the legislative, which means it goes back to the government. I mean, it's just gonna go back and forth and
But Cabe sent us something today that said the legislature is talking about, well, I read it today. I don't know when they sent it, but they're talking about upping people's ECS grants back to their other level.
How about
And I think they
MBR? Do we
said-
know?
That
nothing
it
yet on
matched the
FBR.
government.
We don't know NBR?
Nothing.
Huh, all right. It is what it is then, I don't
Can
know,
I
I
ask-
mean. But
Can I ask a question? It sort of pertains to our agenda. When, during the last meeting, Alan brought up a point that will our grants be the same if we merged or if we formed a cooperative agreement? We still remain a district, but I think that was a good thing we should figure out. And maybe this is a time to look at all that. I don't know what Sally sent us or Frank sent us this, and I don't know what every initial stands for, like CRF municipal grant. And I don't know if that's capital recurring fund.
No, I have a form. I'll send it out to you guys. I asked Sally and she put that together, all of the projected grants and other incomes for 21, 22. And it's, I don't know if you can see this. It's a
Okay.
form. It's not, columns of numbers. So I'll email that, forward that all to you guys. So you can get a sense of the kinds of dollars we're getting in from grants and where it's going.
Can you
Where the
figure
grants-
out whether we would still get them if we operated a school with another district?
I think if it's a cooperative agreement, you're still a district, regardless of where your kids
Mhm.
actually sit in a classroom, you're still a district and have district funds and responsibilities. So I don't see how, like you still get, for example, something innocuous like adult education. You're still gonna have to have adult education funding because we have adults who are going to go to EastCon and EastCon actually gets the money. But we still get awarded that because we still have adults in our town. So I don't believe that most of these things are child based. So it goes with the child. It doesn't go with
Okay,
the town per se. So I think the answer is, it depends on the grant and it depends on who it's being awarded to. And what it's being awarded for. So, Medicaid is gonna stay with the kids. That's a $24,000 grant. Pre-K is the one is based on actual physical location of a child. So if the location of our children is in Scotland, for example, then the the Office of Early Childhood would send our slots to Scotland and Scotland would get that money because it's their slot.
But if we're not holding pre-K classes, then we don't deserve the money.
That's right. That's why it goes
Yeah,
to Scotland. So it depends on the particular grant.
okay, thank you.
yeah, I don't have anything else on next year's budget until we know what we're gonna be up against, so. All right, for second audience for staff and citizens. Laurel, do you have any, I don't see anything in the chat, so I'm gonna say we're good there. And then, let's see here. I think that was, next agenda, probably be similar. Obviously, we won't have to talk, well, we can leave parking lot on the 5-year plan. All have that other Word file updated so we can kind of finalize it with this group and we can plan on presenting it to the board after that. And I guess everything else will be pretty consistent with this agenda. So if anybody has anything you want me to add, let me know.
Okay,
Do we have a
And date
date
and
and
time,
time?
let's see. Do we want to do the Thursday before the next meeting again?
oh,
Does that work for people or?
I think the next meeting, I'm done with classes, so if you wanted to go back to the Monday before the meeting, I could.
Is there a preference for people? I don't necessarily have a preference.
Neither do I.
Next meeting is May 26th.
Which,
Yep.
date- what is that? That's, oh, that's our next full board meeting?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Neil, do you have a preference of like Thursdays or the Monday before the full board meeting?
I don't think it matters.
Okay, Mary Ellen?
No, it doesn't matter. Maybe we should do a Monday in case, you know, the Frank has more homework to do beforehand. We may be hearing from the Board of Finance. Alan said tonight our town meeting is going to be the week of May 19th. So I assume that our, let's see, the week of May 19th, I guess our budget will already be decided by then.
So the 26th is the next regular board meeting, so the Monday before that would be the 24th, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yes.
24th at 7. I mean, if we did the Thursday before, that would give him a little bit more time. No, I see what you mean, Mary Ellen. You're saying to react to the Board of Finance. If we did it
Yeah,
Monday, you'd have more time to react to the Board of Finance.
Right, but if we set it
Yeah.
for the 24th, and the week before is the week that the town meeting is on, and it might end up being on Thursday, we don't know.
Oh, right. Yeah, all right. Well, then we might be able to scratch that from the agenda item because we might already know what it is.
So let's do Monday, because then
Okay.
we'll have,
Yep,
I mean, it's gonna go to referendum because they always send it to referendum, but just leaving the night, that week, that Thursday before open in case the town meeting falls on that date.
yep, that works.
what time do you want to meet?
Probably 7 again.
I like 7.
I like 7.
I try to have an efficient meeting, so as long as it doesn't last until wee hours of the night would be all right. So,
You do
all right,
great.
The 24th at 7, and we'll go from there. All right, well, luckily we don't have to make motions here, so I can just say, I think I'm gotten through the agenda, so I'm ready to adjourn.
Thank you.
All right, have a good
Bye,
night,
everybody.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe out there.